She's gonna. Man, oh man. No, the popcorn maker is not on the fritz again. Although that's a reasonable it's a reasonable guess there. Hey everybody, Johnny O, Plot Hole, 8 o'clock, podcast time. That's right. It's a lot of fun. Although the Spreaker stuff doesn't seem to be working. So we might just be solo YouTube tonight, which is fun. Wibbly wobbly tiny wimey, says Nerd Angle. Well, there you go. Oh, looks like we have the Raven here as well. Good to see both of you. Rob Parks, Angie, how nice to see you. Nice to see you. Who do we have here? Webarb, I'm not a cat. Oh, hey. No, thanks. I'm good. Thank you, though. Let's see. Charlie Welch, dude, are you still in Oz? Or wait, no, you should be in Kansas, not Oz. Did you get taken to Oz? Or are you still in Kansas? That's what we want to know. Let's see here. Eileen Dover, yes. The U.S. Olympic trials are on now, and it's kind of what we're going to be talking about a little bit. Let's see. Rob Parks, Inquisitor Bacon, not going to be long. Going to do a Borderlands 3 stream with my friend in a bit. Cool. Without a jelly donut, says a real debate. Not today, tomorrow. Tomorrow's a real debate. But yes, it will be a real debate. Rhoda, no last name. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. All right. I think Danny, nice to see you. Good to see you. Without a jelly donut. That's just a sad, sad name. Zachariah Hooper, good to see you. Tony Regime in the house. Beaver C, hello, hello. All right. I think that's everybody. That's everybody, unless I missed somebody. Saw tornado was small, more later, possibly. Well, here's the thing. Yeah. We here in Texas, we get them every now and again as well. It happens from time to time. They're no fun. Let's see here. I'm a bit confusing as I'm already in. Oh, yeah, that's true. You are ahead of the game. Borderlands 2 I never got into the video game stuff. Well, not that I didn't get into video games. I didn't get into Borderlands and all that, like all the newer stuff. I think I stopped playing video games about almost 20 years, 15 years ago, give or take. I mean, I still play them every now and again, but my son has taken over the reins of the video game playing in the house. Zachariah Hooper says, if you love riding James Dio, throw up the devil horns. There you go. Someone left the door to the back. You know what? Beavers are welcome. We like beavers here. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. That's all I'll say, the Raven. There was some craziness. We have a guest in the house. Jocelyn's has one of her friends over, and it's like all girls in the house. And my son is in Colorado. They go get him tomorrow. So I'm, this is me all by myself. The only guy here. Oh, wrote in the last name. I saw you say something there. Boom. The plot hole you need. You'd love the first Borderlands co-op with your little one. I one of these days when I get a little more time, absolutely. I would love to get to do some video games. Right now we've played Mortal Kombat a little bit. He doesn't like playing Mortal Kombat with me because I whoop him like it's just not even, I don't even try. It's bad. I'm kidding. He's getting very good at that. What was that Johnny shirt you were wearing in the video today? That is my Dadalorian shirt that my kids and my wife got me for Father's Day. That was fun. Red Dead Redemption 2. I never played Red Dead Redemption or the zombie one. I don't know, something about first-person shooters, but that Red Dead Redemption 2 is more of third-person, right? Or over-the-shoulder OTS kind of thing. I'll check it out. Let's see here. Boom. Oh, yeah. The Mortal Kombat is our genre. I've been playing Mortal Kombat since it first came out. I remember when it was in theaters. I do remember when Mortal Kombat was in theaters because I saw it in theaters. But no, I remember when it was in the arcade. Without a jelly donut, what games you play? Again, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. Those are two of my favorite games. Killer Instinct. I love that game. So a lot of your fighter games. And then I got into the Fable series on Xbox. I love that one. That was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think. But God of War games have been. I don't understand that. Why would that be a bad thing? I thought looked pretty fun. Stand up in arcades, yeah, that was where it was at. I used to just play, take $5 and then we would sneak into the theater. Don't tell anybody. So Johnny O, do you know what Evo Movement 34 is? Sure, I do. Killer Instinct was an awesome game. I love that game. It was so much fun. My brother and I would just destroy people up there because we had no lives really. We would just go to he worked close by there, so he would take me up there. I'd play a little bit, and when he was done, that was it. Legend of Zelda, absolutely. So I would definitely play. I mean, we started, the original Legend of Zelda when it came out on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was a lot of fun. And then the second one came out. My brother and we stayed up during the summertime and just played that game for hours on hours, trying to figure out all the little picadillos, and it was always fun. The Fallout 3 and 4 are great games to play. I've never played them though. Never played them. I stopped playing whatchamacallit, Legend of Zelda. I got up to the Wind Waker. I didn't do Majora's Mask though, because when Majora's Mask came out, somebody broke into my house and stole my shit. So I didn't have the 64 anymore. So I didn't get to play it. And then by the time I got insurance and all that stuff, I just got a GameCube. So that's when I got Wind Waker. And then I kind of fell off all of them, like Skyward Sword. My youngster, he's into all that stuff. He loves Zelda. It's his favorite. Skip Majora's Mask. There was a game, there's an RPG game on the PlayStation called Legend of Legaia. That game was the bee's knees. I love that game. They should remake games like they did DuckTales. Really? I didn't see that one. Uh-oh. We're having a battle between the Raven and the Wolf. Majora's Mask is your all-time favorite. Those are fun. I thought it was kind of cool. My younger brother played that one for a little bit, so I would catch that. And then my son, he had it on what is that little thing called? Not the Game Boy. The Nintendo DS. He had it on the DS or 2DS or what the hell it's called. But he played that one. That was fun. And then he got it on the Switch or something. I don't know, something like that. But he's played all of them. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was fun. I like the story that it was a little darker than normal. And then what was the one with the wolf and all that? Yeah, exactly. Dark vibes and eerie plot. I thought it was kind of cool. A little bit of a they stepped away from the normal type things. But what was the one with the wolf? I'm missing. What was that one called? Was that Skyward? I don't know if that was Skyward Sword. Twilight Princess, thank you. That's the one. I played that one for a little bit. That was kind of fun. That's when my son was really getting into the Zelda stuff with the Twilight Princess. That came out as his video game career began. So that got him into it. All right. So how many people have seen this Athlete A documentary on Netflix? Now, granted, I know it's been out for a year, but I thought it was relevant, seeing as some people have already. Eileen Dover, I think, already pointed out that we have the Olympic trials going on. I was reading that bee's knees is from Bathtub Gym, sweetened with honey and lemon. Maybe it is. All right, you guys haven't seen it yet. If you enjoy good documentaries, this is a good documentary. It's also a very disturbing documentary because of the subject matter. And yeah, already because YouTube is YouTube. This stream is already flagged yellow. It was flagged yellow the second I went live. Because of the title, I'm assuming. So yeah. Gotta love YouTube. What was I about to do? Oh yeah. So this athlete A, this is about the U.S. Olympics gymnastic team, and Larry Nassar is the main focus of it when it talks about the abusers, but it also establishes the fact that there's a systemic problem with everything that was going, like the whole system, like coaches, the problems with reporting assaults and abuses and whatnot. Homicidal Maniac says, no, that's not for me. You know what? That's cool. It's not for everybody. I got to say, I like good documentaries. I understand that, yeah, some things are just not going to be. They're not going to be for everybody. And this one here, especially with the subject matter being what it is, a lot of people are, very sensitive to this type of thing for obvious reasons. Danny says, I don't have a Discord. Well, that's okay. You don't have to have a Discord. You don't have a Discord. So yeah, I can understand why there would just be people that would not want to watch this. Thoughts on the Chauvin? So we'll get to that, Zach. We'll get to that, Zach. We'll get to the thoughts on the Chauvin sentencing. I was saying the yellow is for me. Oh, the homicidal maniac, you're the one that caused me to yell. Son of a gun. Hey, Keith Newton, good to see you. Speaking of bathtub gin, just kidding. That's not bathtub gin. So yeah, we've got this documentary that came out. We've got the Olympic trials that are going on right now. Some of the things that I found really interesting about the findings in this documentary is that the system that the U.S. Olympic team has, or not the U.S. Olympic team, but the U.S. gymnastics, whatever the I forget what it's called, how they have set up this. There's supposed to be a report. There is a system in place for these reportings. And when somebody complains or makes a report about an assault or harassment or something, the way that they have it written, unless the victim or the victim's parent or a direct witness cosigns or signs off on this, they don't care. They're not gonna report it. They'll investigate it internally, but they won't report it. All these are supposed to be immediately reported to the police according to the whatever their rules and I don't know, law, whatever. Sean Zyke says, I remember the sentencing with Nassar. That judge cannot hide her contempt. One of the fathers attacked him. Same judge who sentenced fake attorney Rick Martin this year. I remember watching that father ask the judge for 5 minutes alone with Nassar. And yeah, I just thought, hey, Skids Crasher. I just thought I know that judge wanted to say, yeah, let's do it, but she had to, do her job, or he had to do, I can't remember who it was. I think it was a she. Had to do the job of the judge and not let vigilante justice happen. As much as the judge wanted it to happen, you could tell. Yes, her. Sorry, and it just. I wanted to beat the shit out of that little fucking squirrely bastard, and I didn't have kids that I don't have survivors of his victimization. So Keith Newton says people don't report it because of the repercussions. It sucks. Yeah. So that was one of the things I was talking about, is that there were plenty of people that were making these reports or complaining about coaches or this or that or whatever. And the U.S. Olympics gymnastics teams would say, hey, look, if you don't like it, you don't have to be a part of the team anymore, which is so fucking shitty. I mean, great Jesus Christ, what are you doing? What are you people doing? And here's the thing. You mean the beatdown? The beatdown probably happened. It happened in prison, I'm sure, unless he's in unless he went straight to the protective custody ward, which is probable. It's probable. It's probably what happened. People don't report it for fear of not getting to say the Olympics. Wow, that was their stance. What? No. Okay, so these people would make their complaints to the higher ups. They would send letters or complain, hey, this coach is doing these things, or this person is doing these things. And the responses they would get from the higher ups in the U.S. Olympics Gymnastics Committee were, look, we've got plenty of girls that want to compete for the Olympics that could use these coaches. Lots of talent out there. In other words, shut up, don't make waves, and just, allow your child to be victimized so they can be on the Olympics, which I think is stupid. I don't get it. I've never understood that. I've never understood, with the whole Catholic Church thing, or with the Penn State business. I never understood that. I would rather be the place that's known for, because everybody talks about, well, it's a prestige thing. We don't want our good name tarnished. Well, how the fuck did that work out for you? I tell you right now that I would much rather be the university or the organization that says, yeah, that happened, but we did everything we could. We did everything within our power to root that shit out and stop it from happening again. I'm not going to be the Pope that says, no, I tell you what, let's just take this priest and move him over here to keep moving these priests around. No, I'm going to be the Pope that says, hey, you guys can't be priests in church anymore. If I believe that it's a sickness, cool. We'll take all you guys over here. We're going to put you in, therapy, but we're not going to put you in places where you can victimize people anymore. That's not going to happen. Same thing with Penn State. If I'm Joe Paterno, nope, sorry. I know you're victimizing. I know this is happening. This may tarnish my reputation, or this may tarnish the school's reputation, but we are going to go to the police and we're going to make sure that these kids are taken care of. It's not, hey, one person, one time. No, there were tons and tons and tons of reports. Same thing with this U.S. Olympics Committee. Am I going to debate Darth Dawkins? Me? Why would I debate Darth Dawkins? I don't have any respect for Darth Dawkins. I'll debate people that I respect. I won't debate Darth Dawkins because all he does is whine, cries, and complains when people don't agree with him, and he'll just say, oh, that I'm acting like a 15-year-old kid at the lunchroom table in high school or some dumb shit. He's just, and there's nothing to debate there. He's a presuppositionalist, which is what I consider a shitty argument to begin with. It's circular reasoning. It all begs the question, and I just don't think it's a good one. Let's see here. What happened? Just one of the reasons I left the church. I couldn't take all the bullshit excuses. Yeah, and that's the problem, right? That's the problem with that scenario with the Catholic Church. There are a lot of things that have been done. There are a lot of things that have been done, in a lot of good things that the church has done, a lot of bad things too. Let's not gloss over that, that whole scandal that we're talking about. There are a lot of good things that the church has done, a lot of things that the church can do that is good. But when you have just this blatant hiding of all this stuff, yeah, I got a problem with that. And I can understand why people are like, I don't want to be part of that anymore, because it still happens. So why does he call himself Darth Dawkins anyways? What he's doing is he's got a caricature of Richard Dawkins. And he is a caricature. He uses Darth Dawkins as a play on on Richard Dawkins, because Richard Dawkins is a very prominent atheist. So yeah, that's what it is. Skits Crasher for 2 says, keep up the good work, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will do the best that I can. So this whole Olympics thing, this whole athlete A, we're talking about, what is her name? Maggie. God, I just saw it. I can't remember her name. I just looked at her name too. I can't believe I can't remember her name. Maggie. What is her name? Maggie Nichols, right? It didn't completely destroy her career. It stopped her Olympics career. That's for sure. Because she was the one who she wasn't the original victim, but she was the first one to report it. She was the first one to come out and say, hey, this guy's doing this stuff that is not cool. He's being, he's abusive and this, that, and the other. Went to her coaches, went to the people in charge, and the people in charge says, yes, let's investigate it, but you can't say shit about it because that'll ruin our investigation. And this went on and on and on and on. He does wish he was on Richard Dawkins' level. Hey, Frank being Frank, good to see you. Mike, good to see you too. Let's see here. Rob Parks for 5 says, my ties to the Church of Johnny, going to look at some stars, assuming the clouds let me. I am really interested in seeing that. Thank you, by the way, Rob. I appreciate that. I want to see some of your pictures and your videos on that. So if you're going, take some stills too. Those are awesome. Love seeing stellar photography. I think that's what it's called. Anyway. Charlie Welch. Hi, Frank. Oh, Chris Durham Music Channel says, sorry I'm late, just watching a Rick Beato video. Okay, there we are. NA says, hello. Good to see you, NA. So yeah, they told Nichols, hey, we'll investigate. Don't worry, just don't say anything because you'll ruin our investigation. And this went on for months and months and months. And they kept saying, hey, what's going on? This Nassar guy is still the head trainer or the head doctor of the U.S. Olympics team. He's still doing this stuff. He's still seeing girls as young as, I think, 15. What's going on here? Why are we not? They just kept making waves, and they would just nothing. They just ignored her complaints. And Tiny Eye, you are not late. You are right on time. You're never late to a plot hole show. It's always good. So yeah, this whole business, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, man. You have a legitimate complaint. You have a legitimate complaint that was signed by the victim and the victim's parents. That should have been immediately turned over to the police per their policy, but they didn't do it. Instead, they said, we're going to internally investigate. For fuck's sake, man. If that's not blatant covering up of the problem, they knew what was going on. That makes these people just as guilty as Nassar and all these other coaches or trainers who were doing the same types of things that Nassar was doing. Hey, Bill Devitt, good to see you. Did my kids decide to return? They will be here soon. Yes, she was the first. Well, she was the first one to make complaints. So in order to protect her identity, that's why they called her Athlete A. But yes, she was the first. And yes, Bill Devitt, that is completely criminal. That is one of the reasons why. Why didn't the parents call the police? I don't know. Let's see, Johnny, in the corporate world you live in, are Red Book investigations not a thing? They might be a thing, but let me make sure. What I think a Red Book investigation is what you think it is, or how you're using it, not what you think it is. Sorry. You're talking about the old Walmart stuff, right? Come back here. Boom. Let's see here. I have Skid Scratcher. I have 2 mini Aussies, even though they're not Australian. They're American Australian Shepherds. They're awesome pups. I like them. I like those puppies. But anyway, so the here she is. During this whole process, she gets injured. She hurts her leg, tears her meniscus, does all kinds of things where she has to go see the Olympic trainers and doctors, head by that Nassar guy. And yeah, sexual assault. Yeah, they are filed in the red book. No, yeah, cool. We're on the same page. The red book isn't the one that nobody ever looks at. It's there, but we're not going to look at it. But so she's recovering from all these things, and here come I think it was a 2016 trials for the 2018 or those 2017 trials, whatever, for the 2018 Olympics. And here here comes Nichols, and she performs well enough that she should have been chosen as at least an alternate. Now, this is a collegiate gold medalist now. She is a fantastic gymnast. She went to, I think it was OU. OU, and maybe it was, I think it was Rio. But anyway, so she went to OU as an Olympian, not Olympian, as a gymnast, because she retired from Olympics because of all that mess, and then went to college for it. And she is she's gold medal. She's fantastic, right? She is extremely talented. But she apparently, because of all this, I mean, it's obvious that because of all this, she just wasn't good enough to make the Olympics that year. Sorry. Freaking bosses won't leave me alone. That's the way it goes. All right. There we go. Turn that off. Be done with that. Frank, we're talking about the Netflix documentary Athlete A and a couple other things. We're just starting with Athlete A, and then we'll kind of get into the whole stream of consciousness thing. That salaried life. Yeah, I think the salaried life is not as worth it as it once was. We'll just say that. But I could be living under a bridge. Anyway, so yeah, this whole business with she gets passed over for the Olympics, which, I mean, that was it. She probably could have gone 4 years later. She probably could have attempted to compete in this upcoming Olympics. But as I understand it, gymnastics is more of a younger gymnast type thing. Hey, Facty, I don't know. I don't really watch a whole lot of gymnastics. I don't watch a whole lot of the Olympics. I just don't. I don't know why. I used to. When I was younger, I used to watch all of it. I remember that when what's her name broke her ankle and she still performed a vault to get the gymnastics team a gold medal, and coach, you can do it. The Saturday Night Live, I can't do it, but you can do it. Michael Johnson in his gold shoes. I remember that. Well, 5 years in hindsight. Yeah, maybe. Celery needs peanut butter and raisins. Answer the law. Come on now. So yeah, here I am getting off topic. But I sat down and watched this documentary. It was recommended to me by the producer of the documentary I'm working on. He says, check this out. This is kind of where I think it's not, obviously what I'm looking at is nowhere near as inflammatory as what this one was about. But he said, informed style, this is kind of what you are looking at least how this works, whatever. So I watched it, and that's what kind of got me thinking about this whole situation. And then I saw that the Olympic trials are going on for gymnastics. Hey, Jezza, the mass reviewer, what do you think are the odds the Olympics will be canceled? 0. I don't think they will be canceled. They're going to go on I think it's going to go on. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. sweep, slide, curling. Yeah. And then the speed walking. That was always my favorite Olympic sport. Flat Derp, good to see you. Lindu at Speed, nice to see you. Good to see you. I see you there, Sabercat TV. Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to say there. Okay. And it says, Bill Davis says, and what isn't surprising, this misogynistic treatment of young girls is covered up by Christians with the whole Jezebel-style victim shaming placed upon the innocent victim. Yeah, man, that's the worst part about this situation is that take the Olympics away from, right? Take out all this, just regular occurrences of sexual assault or sexual harassment. The process, and I don't know so much now if it's victim blaming. There is definitely some victim blaming going on. Man, this is the reason why I railed so hard against people who make false claims, false sexual harassment or rape or all these allegations that were just not true, because it just further fuels the victim blaming side, right? I'm not trying to excuse it, not excusing it at all, because it's a shitty thing to do. I think any person who comes and says, "Hey, I was a victim of this, I was a victim of that," they should be respected. If it were, I understand in instances of sexual assault that rape kits need to be taken and all that. Now that's just a gross process, but hopefully that's the one of the ways that they can identify the culprit and and help the victim. But this whole well, what were you wearing? The fuck does it matter? What the fuck does it matter what she was wearing? Well, how come you were at this party? Because I wanted to be. The fuck does that matter? There is nothing that anyone can say. I don't give two rats turds if a woman is walking down the street stark naked. Nothing gives anybody the right or an excuse or reason to assault this person. Does not matter. I'm so sick of people saying, well, you shouldn't have done this or you shouldn't have done that. Yeah. You should be talking to the person who committed the crime. And then just so many instances of who was it? Was it Brock Turner just violently rapes a woman and he gets 6 months because they didn't want to ruin his life. What about her life? What about her life? It's already been ruined based on the actions of this guy. But because he's got a future, he's got a bright future, we're going to give him a slap on the wrist, 6 months in-house arrest. Because we don't want to. Oh, Jesus. My goodness. That just irritates me. Yeah, but boys will be boys, right? And that's where it has to start with us. We need to start teaching our young men that no, this is not okay. It's not okay to do this. There are right ways and wrong ways to go about. Look, everybody's going to have sexual urges. That's natural, right? It's part of humans, part of life, whatever. There's a right way and wrong way to go about that. And it starts with teaching our children respect. Teaching our sons, that's a human being. She is a human. She is a person with thoughts and feelings, just like you. Teaching our daughters, excuse me, that you don't have to be this sexual icon. That doesn't have to be you. If you want it to be you, that's fine. But that's not your only avenue. You can be intelligent. You can be educated. You can be whatever you want to be. And you shouldn't have to fear attack, assault, or becoming a victim simply because we can't teach our people, our children, our whatever, how to be decent human beings. Yes, beware the sweet talker. Always beware the sweet talker. Always beware the sweet talker. There's one thing, it's one thing to be conversational and a bit flirty every now and again, but you got to watch out. There's those poison tip tongue motherfuckers out there that, yeah, they definitely don't have their stuff together. Rapists should get their chunk medically removed and put in psychological institutions. I think that there needs to be. There are a lot of people that focus on the punishment, right? And it's not. I understand that. I absolutely understand people who look at the punishment. Frank being Frank says, I just had to have a conversation with my son the other day about not shaming others. At first, I may have been harsh, and then I realized that he truly didn't understand. Yeah, it's important to have these conversations, and I try to teach my son and my daughters too. Hey, look, people are going to be different. Not everybody's going to be the same. My son has, he's got autism and he's on the spectrum, so he is a little. He's a lot more literal with everything. Everything he takes, I try and joke around with him, just kid around with him, and sometimes he doesn't get it. Like if he wants to go to his papa's house, he'll come down. Hey, can I go to my papa's house? I'm like, of course not. It's a total joke, knowing that no, it's fine, absolutely, of course you can go to your papa's house, or you can go to your GMO's house, or you can go to this person's house. If you want to go to one of your grandparents, absolutely, let's make it happen. But he hears me say stuff like that. He takes it serious, like I'm being serious. Sometimes I have to, remember that and how that, talking about how to have these communications, these chats, these very serious discussions with your children. But yeah, I think that, hey, Global Mom, good to see you. Yeah, at Nerd Angle, that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true right here. No, it's a full sentence. A woman says no, there's no further explanation required. I don't like the fact that we have to define what consent is. I mean, really? Are we that unable to control ourselves that we have to? Here's the thing. I understand, the whole courting process and, trying this in different angles and whatnot, but there's a difference between, trying to have relations with a woman. I have to be careful with what goes on because I have youngsters in the background here. And, the being overly aggressive. The overly aggressive stuff's got to stop. Woman says no, it means no. She says no, period. Man says no, it means no. Just leave it at that. It's sad that we have to teach. It's sad that we have to teach women. Well, this is what you got to do if you ever go to a bar with your drink. Make sure you put the coaster on top of your drink, because if you don't, some jackass is going to try and drug you. I mean, why? Why do we have to do that? Why? Just, you know what I mean? I don't get it. What is my this is a Miami Dolphins hat. That's yeah. Believe it or not, I'm a Dolphins fan living in Texas. It happens. Web Art says, used to work with a tester with autism, sweetest guy. Just need to tune how to talk to each other a bit more. Yeah, it's one of the things that I have learned the most from my son is how to be a little better when it comes to interactions with people who may be on the spectrum, right? Because working in the job that I work with, I interact with tons of different people all the time, and having that experience, that direct experience with my son, knowing, the signs and symptoms, not symptoms, but the signs and how autism can present itself. It's definitely made some of those interactions at work much easier, much smoother. Some things that my younger employees may not be aware of, right? They just didn't know how to recognize that stuff, or that maybe some of my employees may present themselves. So knowing how to deal with that. We will always pray on the weak. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Is that Marino guy still a memory for the fans? Absolutely, especially us older ones. JL Warren says, long day. Finally back from Dallas. Well, JL Warren, you were supposed to stop by my house and pick up some stuff, but you didn't do it. You didn't do it. And that's okay. I forgive you. The Raven says, it is so ingrained since childhood to walk, keys in hand, ready to run, to fake a call and say, I'm almost there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. It's just so, it's just, it's you know, it's sad that we have to, you know, teach people this, especially women. You know, it's sad. I just don't get it. Dan Hatfield says, the plot hole, how's it going? Love you, love your fam, and love this community. Peace and love, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Absolutely back at you. JL Warren, you know what? Are you at your computer? Yes or no? If you're at your computer and you are up to it, I'm gonna send you a link and join you on here. You've got to make more than one more trip south, JL Warren. You vicious, stupid atheist. You slanderer and defamer. Anyway, I'm a true athlete. The cheerleaders are all on me all day and night, baby. Okay, good for you, Logan. Good for you, Logan Reese. Some people got it, some people don't. You know, yeah, I know you can't teach the Predators, and that's they are sick. They are sick. It's bad. It's terrible that we have the thing that makes it the most egregious is that we seem to have this this system of justice that fosters it. You know that it just yeah, it's irritating. It's really irritating. Don't like it at all. Wish we could get rid of all the victim blaming. Wish we could, you know, teach our children. Especially that's where it's got to start with the kids. You know, hey, this is not cool. This is how you conduct yourself, right? Stop telling girls, hey, don't wear provocative clothing. It's so stupid. Stop telling girls, hey, don't do this. Don't do. How about, hey guys, don't fucking rape people? How about we start there? Oh yeah, Sabercat TV says, hey, can you go ahead and recommend people to go check out my channel? If you get a minute, put your link in the whatchamacallit, in the side chat there. Absolutely. Charlie Welch says, shit is popping off. Effing tornadoes everywhere. Tornado warnings everywhere. Well, here's the thing, Charlie. There's no place like home. Just remember that, okay? You might need that in the very near future. Just saying. A big old poop storm. Let me get one thing done really quick. Boom. Well, there, JL. Anybody's welcome. What are we doing over there, youngster? Somebody's got some ice. All right, let's get back to this here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that, Chris Durham. I'll make a video asking Level Earth Observer. That's the Bond. He's one that sounds like a really bad James Bond villain. Frank says, no problem. JL Warren, you and the plot hole and Irish seem to be the most genuine people on YouTube. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I try to keep it as serious as possible. Oh, here come people with foods and stuff. But yeah, Chris Durham, is there like do I need to send that somewhere? Just put it out? Let me know what I need to do. Let me know. I'll get that done for you for certain. Let's see here. I've been the safe zone for girls, women in nightclub, but in bars were always very mild. But one, even that ended up with him months later, still together. But I just don't get it. I don't get it either. I wished that we didn't have to. I hate having these conversations, but I think it's A priest, yep. And that's just the first guy. Yep, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm not serious. I'm not serious. Level Earth Observer is a flat Earth Darth Dawkins. I thought so, but he's the one he's got that weird little voice, like he's a villain. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. If that's the same guy. If that's the same guy, you guys know what I'm talking about. Just do a short video and tag Flat Earth in the video so Flurfs see it. Okay, I can do that. I'll do it short later. That sort of thing. Rotation all over the place, Charlie. Look, don't call them munchkins. Don't call them elves. They don't like that. Just, you know. He's an angry elf. Mr. 42 has challenged all of us to call out LEO to debate Mr. Sensible. Can we all pressure him to do it? You know, I'll make the video because I think Level Earth Observer is disingenuous at best. So, yeah. And I like Mr. Sensible. Like that guy. He's fun to watch. Charlie Welch represents the Lollipop Guild. And boom, there he is. Yeah, you might get, you know, what is this?
It's Dr. Pepper, but it doesn't look like Dr. Pepper in this cup.
Dr. Pepper. It does look like Dr. Pepper.
Look at the cup, though.
I know what the cup is. I bought that cup. See? Oh, you want to show everybody what it looks like? What you're drinking?
Trust me, it's Dr. Pepper.
It's Dr. Pepper. Yeah, we don't have that stuff here.
Yeah, they're sober.
Didn't Leo agree to debate Mr. Sensible on his stream tonight? I don't know. Did he? If he did, and he's not doing it, for shame. I wanted to get JL in here to talk about these upcoming debates that we've got. We've got one tomorrow, by the way, between Rob and Nerd Angle. It's going to be fun. It's more, you know, it's more meant to. Are those kids drinking liqueur? No, they're not. They're drinking Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. I'm not a fan of Dr. Pepper either, fact. I think it's, you know, it's not for me. But tomorrow we're going to be debating whether or not Nerd Angle and Rob from Rob's World are going to be debating whether or not Disney introduced Loki's gender fluidity as a means to pander to audiences, or if they're just trying to add in that bit to the whatever it's called. What is it called? What is it called? Lore. That's what I'm looking for. Elio is as much of a coward as Right the Hand. Yeah, that's true. He is. Homicidal Maniac, thank you. You guys, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Have a good night, sir. Yes, I know where you stand on that. I know where you stand on that. But that's the whole point of having the debate. We're gonna have some fun. It's not meant to be like, you know, knockout, drag out, fight, nothing like that. It's just meant to present some evidence or present some arguments and go from there. The one I'm really looking forward to, not that I'm not looking forward to yours, Nerd and Rob. I am looking forward to that because that one's tomorrow. I need to make the thumbnail and schedule it. But I'm looking forward to the JL Otangelo debate. Now, I know there's some people out there that don't really particularly care for the fact that I am platforming Otangelo. Originally, the debate was supposed to be on young Earth creationism. And then I think I told him from the beginning who his debate partner was going to be. That was going to be PhD Tony. Oh, excuse me. We don't sleep. And I think he realized what that meant, getting into a young Earth debate with somebody who studies that for a living. I liked Otangelo standing up to Darth Dawkins too. I thought that was particularly. I mean, he's done it before. He's stood up to Darth Dawkins before. I just don't understand why he keeps going back to Darth Dawkins, because Darth does this to people all the time. He puts himself. He basically sets up echo chambers. Otangelo is very vanilla compared to others. Hey, Marva girl, good to see you. I don't know if I would say that so much. He's not as he's not Darth Dawkins, that's for sure. So yeah, but anyway, I just don't understand why they go back. I don't understand, why they will subject themselves to that any of that abuse. It's I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like I said in the video earlier today. He is definitely the schoolyard bully. And he's got that bully mentality. I was confused by the whole thing as I don't know all the players with the backstory. Are you talking about the title? Yeah, Athlete A. You missed that part, Tina. You missed that part, but that's okay. But yeah, Darth Dawkins is definitely the schoolyard bully, where he surrounds himself with people who, well, not necessarily surrounds himself with people, but people flock to him because they don't want to be the ones that get picked on. So they'll join into the little tribalism thing of finding the weaker ones or who they think the weaker ones are and picking on them until all of a sudden, all the quote weaker ones are either gone, joined up with this group, or whatever. You don't know Otangelo? You'll know him next Thursday. But he runs to Darth Dawkins like Matt Powell to Dr. Ken Hovind. Exactly. I don't understand why. At least like the Hovind Powell, there doesn't seem to be a adversarial. I don't think Ken Hovind like verbally abuses Matt Powell. Right. And I think that if Matt Powell was, well, maybe he doesn't because they both say almost identical things. They're pretty much two peas from the same pod. But I don't think that if Powell were to say something that was a little bit different than Hovind, I think Hovind would at least have somewhat of a conversation with him because he respects that, he respects that person. He respects the person who Matt Powell is, ideology and all that stuff. So if he thought there was something wrong, he would, genuinely sit down and like, oh no, I think you're wrong here because of this. But he wouldn't sit down. He wouldn't sit down and say, oh, you're stupid and all this, try to bully him and all this shit. Whereas Dawkins, if you're one of his sycophants or if you're one of his folks, and there are no atheists around, and he wants to debate somebody, he is going to. Hi, I got puppy dog.
He's finally out.
He is going to sit down and just eviscerate anybody who doesn't agree with him 100%. He's going to call him stupid, or he's going to call him, like this whole thing with Otangelo. And Otangelo said that he had agreed to the debate on the plot hole, and Darth says, don't do it because of J.L. Warren and Johnny O and all this stuff and whatnot. And Otangelo says, no, I've already agreed to it, so I'm going to do it. And then he just, railed on him. And then he kicked him out and banned him from his server, his new Darth Dawkins server, because he wouldn't step in line. Hey, stop it. Silly dog. Stop. Hopefully J.O. will join in too, because I want to get him on here. I want to talk about that. Somebody asked me a question earlier. Who was it? Was it Zach? You asked Zach? You asked me what I thought about the Chauvin sentencing. 22 and a half years for second-degree murder, I believe it was. I don't know how I feel about that. Chris Durham. Matt Powell is Kent Hovind's Ultra Boy. Oops, did I say that out loud? No, but you typed it in the chat. I mean, you may have said it out loud as you were typing it. So, yes, Darth Dawkins will eat his own. He will eat his own, and that's, yeah, he will eat his own because, he's got to eat. He's got to eat. Big dog's got to eat. What? Uni versus Fight One? What are we talking about over here? Talking about that debate? Silliness. Yes. Ken Hovind just gave my pals shitty arguments. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely, Jezza. Sounds like Darth is running a cult. Disagree with him on one little thing, and you are out. That is exactly right. If you don't agree with him and you're one of his people, then he kicks you out of his cult. Do you want me to get super ultra mega banned? Yep. Yep. Oh, okay. You're muted. You're banned. I'm gonna kick you from this room. I'll kick your ass from this room. Just the good old stuff. I don't know how Tom Rabbit does it, right? So it's true narcissism. Absolutely, Marvel Girl. It is. He's a narcissistic. Just there's my buddy. My buddy. All right, JL Warren, your room is still looking super sharp.
Yeah, I'm really liking how it's turning out.
Oh, and I got a munchkin here. Okay, all right. You can have some fun, okay? Okay. All right, JL. So you, Mr. Bad Person, you.
Yeah, I gotta tell you before we dive into that. So it has been a hell of a trip because we had to go down to Dallas and we had to get the last bit of stuff out of the house, and we got it and got everything loaded up. We had to schedule the housekeepers to come in and take care of everything. Schedule the lawn guys come and take care of that. Schedule the bulk pickup, a whole bunch of all kinds of shit.
Right.
And the lawn guys weren't able to come out. And so they had to reschedule for tomorrow. The cleaning people, the deep clean people showed up and were like, tried to bait and switch us and try to get us to pay $700 to deep clean the house, which was absolutely insane.
No.
Oh yeah, just fucking ridiculous. But, it was extraordinarily trying. And the day started early because we were supposed to have the housekeepers out at 1 and they wanted to reschedule for 8:30 and then 11. And it's absolutely just nuts. But yeah, the keys are handed over, the paperwork is signed, and she's on the market. We're still going to do the cleaning next week, which is why I have to go down to Dallas one more time.
What day? What day are you going to come down?
I will most likely. Let's see. We got a friend down there who's helping us out with that. So it may be. It's not going to be Wednesday, and it's not going to be Thursday. So it'll either be Tuesday or Friday, one of those.
Well, let me know, and I'll make myself.
Yeah. Just, we still got business we have to deal with down in Dallas. So even though the house is predominantly taken care of and ready to go, I still have to make sure that the city of Allen takes care of stuff and just various other things because we still on the hook for the house until the house sells. So
Right.
There's still crap I got to deal with and handle. But other than that, the bulk of the heavy lifting crap is done. So I'm grateful for that. It's good to see the dogs again because we haven't seen them in 2 days. And but yes, it was actually concerning the video that was put out that Tom Rabbit put out. It was you that sent that to me. I saw it pop up in Tom Rabbit's and because I'm subscribed, so I got the notification. I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. I was like, Darth Dawkins versus the Squad. Oh, he's probably taking swings at, his fellow Christians because we know when there's no atheists around and the pack must feed.
Yep.
They'll eat each other. And I had no idea until you told me. I had no idea that my name came up no less than a dozen times. I think probably was a dozen times in that video. I actually got subscribers off of that video. Like all of a sudden, I started getting dings for people subscribing. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I go to look. I was like, "Where are these subscribers coming from?" I was like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, now I understand."
It works. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because the funniest thing about it is that Darth Dawkins seems to conflate the two of us.
I think he might. Well, first off, he thinks the plot hole is an atheist show.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. That's the funniest thing, right? I assume you haven't seen my video response, Dingleberries today, but that's.
I did watch it, and I saw that we have to give Otange a little bit of credit for having a bit of spine. and kind of standing up. And of course, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I got to give credit where credit is due to Tone Lock, Parakeet. Wow, guys. I know. I normally would never agree with anything these guys did, but to stand up to Darth like that and risk his favor, risk losing his favor.
Yeah. That
was wow. It was the most courage I've seen out of those cats in quite some time. I mean, I agree with them. They have a point. They pointed something out. And I actually showed that video to several of my friends when I was back in Dallas. And I was like, dude, you got to check this out. And it was just, it was one of my friends. It was absolutely disgusted at the manipulation or the attempted manipulation of Otangelo.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you're my friend, if you how dare you, that he's a slanderer and a defamer. How dare you?
And just the whole, that Darth's feelings take precedence over anybody else's feelings or anybody else's integrity or anything at all. So, and it's just wild for anybody who hasn't seen this video, it's come up so many times. I'm willing to bet like a bunch of people, a lot of you have seen it, but for anybody who hasn't seen it, Darth wants Otangelo to either bail on the debate, like just completely bail on it. Or ask me to make a public apology and retract what I said about Darth. And then he would debate me. That was it. So that way, and Darth seems to think that if Otangelo, because right now there's no stipulations on the debate. It's just me and Otangelo debating. But Darth seems to think that Otangelo should be defending brothers in faith, other brother Christians or something, whatever. And that if he'll say, I'll show up, but only if you do this. And then if I decline and I say, no, I'm not going to apologize for the reasons
that's you backing out of the debate.
Then by some logic, it's me who's the one who's backing out. I'm like, are you out of your damn mind? I'm here waiting. And something interesting, had a chat with Otangelo, which is I'm glad that you mentioned. I'm glad that you hollered at me because I spoke with Otangelo, and to break it down, because Otangelo can get pretty long-winded. So this is on Discord. So we were messaging back and forth. He said, frankly, I do not like your repeated attempts of misrepresentations and unprecise assertions, and I'm not sure what your intentions are. Well, that really shouldn't matter. If I'm talking out of my ass, the audience will know it. If I'm talking out of my ass, the moderator will know it. And if I act like a douche nozzle, then Johnny will shut me down. If I start running my mouth or over talking and do something like this, I would expect Johnny to do so. Just like, a couple of times he muted both me and the pigeon when I was debating the pigeon. And which I fully expect. He's the moderator. There's no, he can't be biased on this. He's got to do it. So, but apparently Otangelo is questioning my intentions. It's like, well, if I'm going to look like an idiot, just show up and give your freaking debate, give your freaking argument, let the audience decide that I'm an idiot. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I was kind of like, you know what? What's hilarious, blah, 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 blah. I said that's funny, but I said, don't sweat it. I'll bring my sources and citations to the debate and we'll let the audience decide. Done. But then he goes on this big rant, yada, 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 yada. And he said, okay, I got to give it all in context. I did just quote from the Jewish Virtual Library. Basically what you're saying that they have much work to do, because I said that, Otangelo, you got a lot of work to do in biblical history and biblical archaeology. You don't understand most of this. He's like, the arrogance of such statement is just remarkable. Hey, listen, if you want to go this route, we can cancel the debate and you can search for other Christians which have the guts to dissect your obvious misrepresentations. Much I have to say about your video of 10 reasons why God does not exist. Apparently, this video really, really upset him. And there are screaming false affirmations which will not be fun to refute because it's something that, in my view, you should have figured out by yourself and never presented them in the first place. The arrogance which I have seen you behaving in one of the debates is also something which I dislike. I like to have rational, calm, friendly conversations and not listen to hot, heated, screaming atheists. If that is what you pretend to do, our debate will not last long. And I said, it's up to you, Otangelo. I'll be there at the debate time ready to go. We will all be waiting for you. If you don't show up, that's on you. And then he said, I'll pretend to show up. That was his last statement to me.
I'll pretend to show up. Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, I can't force Otangelo to show up. I think that it says a lot about him if he doesn't show up.
It did when he didn't show up against PSG Tony.
yeah, it says a lot about him. You know, I think that your intentions don't matter in this debate. If he wants to refute the things that you have said, then he can do so via the debate. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't show, then again, that'll say more about his character than anything else.
Yeah. But I do have to give him credit, just like you do, and we all did. You know, kudos to him for stepping up to Darth, for like standing up to him. He got muted and kicked. I don't know. I don't think he got banned from the server, but he did get kicked out. So I'm sure he can come back in later. But you know, that's pretty much it. That's what Darth does. And one of the funniest things we ever did one night was somebody popped open the DSM-5 and went through one of the questionnaires about how determining, you know, narcissism, like what are the, you know, the presentations of narcissistic personality disorder. And we were basically, we started answering it from, you know, the perspective of Darth. It's like, could we apply these to Darth? And absolutely. Yes. He scored a 10 out of 10 on this. And he's an absolute narcissist. And that is what Tone Lock, Otangelo, Parakeet, criminalize abortion, all the cats that hang around him all the time, you know, Catholic traditionalists, blah, 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 all these cats who white knight for him, all they are narcissistic supply for one of the most detrimental people I've ever run into on the internet.
You know, and that's the thing. I don't understand why. What do they get out of it? They're not targeted by the guy. They're not targeted by the bully.
It's hard to say. You know, it could be that they don't want to be on the outs with this guy. It's you know, where Darth goes, crowds follow, either to see the dumpster fire or to like listen to whatever he has to say. But I'm thinking it's literally something like where he goes, people follow, and they want to be a part of the crowd. So they want to be around someone who's popular.
Bully mentality.
Yeah. You know, find the strongest kid and then, you know, pal around the, you know, what you perceive to be the strongest kid in the playground. That's pretty much it.
Right.
And you know, this is the internet. This ain't the schoolyard. It's the internet, and you can pal around with whoever the hell you want to. But it speaks a lot about. I don't want to make suppositions about who you know things in these guys' lives or who they are as people, but you know, nonetheless, they feed off of him. He feeds off of them. It's a vicious cycle and totally codependent. But I stand by what I said. I stand by the things I said before. Like I said, I think when Irish Demon was talking to that one bad person on this, well, when he was trying to track down that one bad person he ran into on Twitter, and he asked me to go to find him. He was like, do you think you can do that? I was like, shit, yeah, I can do that in like 5 minutes. And we were able to track. I was able to track him down, get his information. Then Demon was able to, contact him. We had this huge long conversation. It's not hard. I stand by what I said. I've seen the things I've seen. I've read the things I've read. I've read the official reports. I know what goes down. I've spoken with people. I will not reveal my sources to anybody because I don't want that getting back to him so that he can target those people, because that's bull. I mean, that would be bullshit and just be setting people up. But that's pretty much it. He may call me a slanderer and a defamer, but he won't take me to court, and he can't.
Well, like I said, his mommy won't let him play with the Mean Boys.
My friend, I was telling my friend about this, and my friend Cody, and he was kind of like, dude, why doesn't he just sue you? If you slandered him legitimately, just file suit. You'll have to respond. And I'm like, yeah, I'll respond. I'll bring all my stuff and be like, look, I wasn't fucking lying.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah. Good old Dafty Dawkins. You put that back. So you're all moved and ready to start getting back to work on the real stuff.
Yes. Now that hey.
Hello.
Hello.
We're not advertising for them. We're not advertising.
So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done. I got to, it's legitimate. It's back to writing. It wasn't even really a grace period. It was like all the movie like this. Now, boom, I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Because now I have the time. Now it's about focusing on the channel, focusing on my personal channel, focusing on Week in Horror, make sure I get this stuff done. We've had a hell of a fucking streak on Week in Horror, and
it was a lot of fun last week. I gotta say.
I want to ride it. I want to keep riding this. It's amazing. The support from everybody out there who's been checking this out has been amazing. The support for my own personal channel where I do this stuff. I think you're
getting close. I think you need like what 40, 38, something like that.
Where am I at? 40. I am exactly 40 away. 40 away, and I'm only 6 away from 400 on Week in Horror.
Week in Horror, yeah.
Yeah, just 6 subs away. So things are looking up. I'm 40 away from 1,000. 40 away from 1,000.
Yeah,
so
man. You'll be there sooner than you think. Yeah, you've got some good growth there.
And one thing I'm looking forward to, which things just keep piling up at the plate because when you're successful, I guess opportunities just keep coming down the pipe. There is a possibility that I may be joining a weekly panel of atheists, deists, and agnostics, who basically go after Christianity or basically engage with Christians, answer their questions, talk to them about things, defend atheism or whatever. But there may be a weekly thing that we've seen a lot of success with this, with the ability to do like stages. Anybody familiar with Discord knows that you can set up a stage. And then basically you have a panel of people, and then people will come in to listen and raise their hand, want to ask questions, just like a live call-in show. Only technically you're just on Discord, right? And then in essence, what we could do is we could do like a weekly thing where we set up the panel like every Sunday or every Saturday or something like this, and then we could like stream that or something. But we've been averaging like 200 to 250 people per stream. Per stage, which is really cool. And so I may be engaging in that as well. So just kind of add, whatever, and we'll just put that out in the world. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's cool. Do you like Jimmy Carr?
Oh, I'm very tired. Why is that name familiar?
Jimmy Carr, the comedian, the one-liner.
Okay. I mean, if he's funny, then yes, I like him. I'm having trouble picturing him. Someone said Jimmy Carr, and all that popped in my head was Jim Jeffries.
Not the same.
Not the same at all. I know, not the same, but I'm having trouble.
Close.
Okay, hang on.
Same style. Jimmy Carr is the one that looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
Jimmy Carr. He's British, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I recognize him. Okay. Yeah, he's good.
You don't sound too convinced. Like if I were to say, "Hey, what do you think Richard Pryor?"
I can't remember the last. Well, that's different, but I can't remember the last time I watched any of his stuff.
I've seen a few of his stand-ups. He's got a couple of good one-liners, but I don't know I don't know something about one-liner comedians. Okay, so someone says so web art. Jimmy Carr does panel shows on TV in the UK. So yeah, it'd pretty much be that. Only we would do it on Discord, and we may live stream it directly to YouTube so that people can hear us engaging with individuals. And we may work something out like that. The guy who runs it, he goes by King Xerxes. And really cool dude. Very, very, way smarter than I am. And he pretty much leads it. And then he's allowed me and a number of other people to regularly be on there. In fact, they're running it right now. After this, I got to pop in over there and just kind of engage. And it's awesome. And it's really funny because every so often Darth will pop in to the audience, and he'll sit there for like 5 minutes. And then he'll leave. It's fucking hilarious. He won't dare jump into those because he knows that he'll get owned because he can't mute and ban people.
Oh, ever since Xerxes and Tom Rabbit destroyed him, and another guy named Trick goes by Trick recently wrecked him too. Just doing internal critiques of his worldview, and his worldview falls apart. So just because by virtue of, I think Tom Rabbits was the best in turning his revelatory God on its ear by basically saying, well, if your God is revelatory, that means I know it. Premise one, God exists and is revelatory, and God exists, is revelatory, and everybody knows it. Premise two, I don't know it. Premise three, or conclusion, your God doesn't exist.
Exactly.
That's
but that's the simplicity of defeating his argumentation.
Yeah. It's
the presuppositionalism, the whole business is just a bad argument.
Nerd Angle says Bo Burnham's new Netflix special was pretty good. I'll have to check that out when I get a chance.
Yeah, one of these days when I get a time to look at more things. I say that, but okay. So what I'll do is when I'm working, when I'm at work in the back, I'll turn. Like I watched Alive. It was dubbed though, which I don't like dubbed. Subtitles, please. I don't know what's going on back
there. That's awesome.
Doggy fight. Anyway, golly,
you totally lost your
I totally lost my train of thought. Totally lost it. Mike says, "Who let the dogs out?" My wife. Oh yeah, so I watched it live. The Korean, right? Korean?
Train to Busan?
No. Alive.
Oh, hashtag Alive. Yeah.
Octothorpe Alive.
That was good. I enjoyed it. I like that one.
I liked it. I didn't like the fact that it was dubbed and not subtitled.
One thing that we're definitely going to be talking about come next Wednesday is the new Halloween Kills trailer. The official Halloween Kills trailer dropped, because that drops this Halloween, this October. And we will be talking about that one because they fully revealed how Michael Myers escaped the basement.
God damn it.
And I was
swear to God, if it's something stupid, I'm going to...
I don't think it's something stupid. It's something, if this were all taking place, because essentially it's going to be a trilogy. It's Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. So it's a trilogy to wrap up the entire to wrap up the whole Laurie Strode, Michael Myers storyline. And if it's essentially it's all happening, the whole thing is happening the day before, the day of, and probably the day after Halloween, or all around the whole thing. So it's literally just 3 movies that take place over like the Halloween holiday, and it's believable. Oh,
y'all. Every now and again, I get love. Every now and again.
But I'd say it's believable. You can say, okay, I could see why that would happen. It's not something supernatural. It's not something goofy.
2 seconds. I'm listening. No, keep going. I'm listening.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's believable. Not what I expected, but I wasn't surprised by it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I just didn't happen to think of that possibility. But we'll talk about it. We will definitely talk about it.
Was it like some weird little contraption thing where he pulls the string and then he goes?
No, do you want me to tell you?
No, I'll watch the trailer.
Okay, yeah. So I don't want to spoil it, but it's nothing goofy like that. It really isn't. It's actually pretty simple. Beaver C, did I move to Vegas? No, I did not move to Vegas. I moved north to Oklahoma. Decidedly not Vegas.
No.
Quite the opposite.
Although you do have gambling in certain parts of Oklahoma.
We do have gambling, but I'm not surrounded by desert. I'm surrounded by pasture and cows.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of coyotes.
No, there's tons of ghosts in Oklahoma for jail to hunt.
Oh, yes. Oklahoma is a particularly, I can't believe I know this, but because, when I used to be a believer, but Oklahoma is a particularly haunted state.
Yes.
And there actually is... there's many, many legends in Oklahoma, notably because a lot of Oklahoma is reservation, and there's lots of ghost towns, there's lots of indigenous American history around here. And in fact, there's the legend of Kaw Lake, which is a lake that was actually it was a town. I think it was a legit town that was flooded. So the entire town of Kaw is underwater. and underneath this lake. So it's a huge, massive lake, Kaw Lake, and within, down at the bottom is the town of Kaw, where we used to be in. Apparently, there's stories around there and stuff like this. But no, I'm not going to go hunt for ghosts because ghosts don't exist.
He's got to go hunt for ghosts.
I'm not going to go hunt for ghosts. Where would I go? If I was really into ghost hunting, where the hell would I go? I would go to specific locations. I would go to like that plantation in Louisiana. I would go to the Cecil Hotel. I would go to there's a hotel down in San Antonio. I can't remember the name of it. I have to look it up. Arizona is full of old, turn of the century ghost towns. I'd go and check those out. I'd probably go overseas, like some castles. Okay, true. The Amityville house. I think it's 1812 Ocean Avenue. I think is the address. But
that sounds right.
Yeah, that old Dutch colonial. The only bad thing that ever happened there was obviously the DeFeo murders, and
the only bad thing.
Yeah, that was the bad thing that happened. But obviously, a quintuple homicide, very, very bad. But the DeFeo murders took place in the infamous Amityville house. But we pretty much all know that the Lutzes made that crap up. Yeah, that the whole story about it was because they couldn't afford the mortgage and they needed to find a way out.
Sure,
and they it's haunted, and they bounced out, whatever, and like that. The whole fervor over it pretty much helped them. The spotlight helped them get out of the mortgage and out of a bad financial situation. But then it carried on, and now we have like 23 Amityville horror movies over and over and over again, and countless books and documentaries. So, but there's nothing.
Can't we just burn that motherfucker to the ground?
There are people who live there. It's changed hands. It's not like it's sitting empty. I think it was a bed and breakfast for a while, and now I think it's, if I remember correctly, it either still is with different owners, or it's a private residence, and no one has complained of anything in the house. Ever since the Lutzes left, no one's complained of anything. So yeah,
I would own it, and I would rent that bitch out, and spend my years figuring out how to scare the shit out of all the people who stop by. I would do all like the rumbling fucking chairs and shit, and
you got to put like the glowing red eyes up in the top windows, like the pig face that used to like stare at George,
right?
He was shit like that,
all that stuff, and the locusts and all that shit. Yeah.
Yes, Charlie Welch, you are correct. If ghosts were real, they'd be fucking everywhere. They would be. Why is it? Why is always somebody from the Civil War? Or someone from Victorian era,
because those are the cooler ghosts.
Those are the cool ghosts.
Nobody cares about Tim from down the street. Fuck that guy.
It's just who's like Glober Mom, have a broom with flies to rent for the night. It's so true. But there's a lot of cool history there. I dig the history on some of these places, but I don't. That would be kind of cool just to go and check stuff out like that. There's a lot of, there's even a lot of cool places here in Texas. Just,
you're not in Texas, sir.
Oh, that's true. There's a lot of cool places, but there's a lot of cool places in Oklahoma, and there's cool places up in Kansas. Hell, Kansas got Coffeyville. It's got Kansas got Coffeyville, which was last stand of the Dalton Boys, which is pretty. There's a lot of American history there. Then you've got Stull, Kansas, which is reported to be like one of the 7 gates of hell. One of the 7 portals to hell that are around the world. And then you've got Lawrence, Kansas, made famous by the show the Winchester, by the show Supernatural, because that's where the Winchesters are from. But Lawrence, Kansas, Stull, Kansas, Coffeyville, Kansas, Topeka's got areas that are really, really entrenched in history. Then you got Missouri, and then of course you keep going further north. But you get really, really deep into res territory where you're going that far north. But it's all kinds of cool stuff.
Where are the Neanderthal ghosts? No, see, that's the thing. Neanderthal ghosts, they weren't smart enough to know that they had a choice. They just saw the light and said, "Hey, food, let's go there." So,
Zachary Hooper says, "Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts would be a really, really good one too. Obviously, a lot of history there." Someone said something. Oh, Scott Everett Tanner says cemetery is not haunted. most peaceful places. That's because everyone is dead. Would you want to hang around your dead body in the afterlife? Screw that. I'm haunting asshole friends. If they existed and I became one, you are goddamn right. I'm
going to be the one. All I'm going to do really is I'm going to be the one that gets the feather and tickles your feet when you're trying to sleep. Harmless little pranks like that.
Oh, it's Mike's old mental hospitals with crazy histories. There's a bunch all over the place. Old abandoned, the asylums that were turned into tuberculosis wards where people died by the hundreds. Yep. And they would just mass grave their bodies because they were infected with tuberculosis. There's all kinds of stuff all over the places. Centralia is a really, really interesting town, interesting ghost town where the coal fires are still burning underneath the city and will be for I think the next 1,000 years. So Centralia was supposed to be a huge thing. Centralia, Pennsylvania, is actually the town that Silent Hill is based off of.
Yep. Good Lord.
So all kinds of cool stuff.
Good old. See, you should be doing this. That's what our next documentary should be. Just go checking out these places, looking into the history. We should pick. That's what we should do. That's really what we should do. I think once I'm finished with this YouTube documentary, we need to get together and do one. Some of the most haunted places in Texas and Oklahoma or some shit. 10
haunted lighthouses, 10 haunted hotels.
No,
10,
not fucking,
1408.
Yeah, not like that stupid fucking Watch Mojo bullshit.
Oh, yo, what culture?
Yeah, none of that crap. So no, I mean a cool one where we go check out the history of these places and actually do a deep dive into the history of these places.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be a lot of fun. You got nothing but time on your hands. You thought you were doing anything.
And one thing about them is that and these places deserve to be talked about. They have their histories, and unfortunately, a lot of them are tragic. They're tragic marks in the expansion of America, or the people that live there. So crazy stuff going on. Sometimes they're amazing stories, but sometimes they're really, really tragic. And amazing things happen there. They get kind of overshadowed sometimes. And talking about the history of various places, I think is really, really neat. There's far better places in some of the monuments out there these days. The regular stuff, like the Alamo. The Alamo is boring. There's other places in San Antonio which are far more interesting. It wasn't just because Davy Crockett died there, or stuff like that. So let's see, haunted mansions in Duluth, Minnesota.
And then he wants to watch us flubber around while he's pushing air underneath us.
Webart wants to see me ghost hunting.
I really think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to pick a couple of places and just do the one thing that I've always wanted to do. I wanted to walk the Trail of Tears.
Oh wow!
And then I would like to find some of the native tribes and speak with them about their history and how that history was passed on down to them from their point of view, not from the history books that we're taught.
Yeah,
just
the lineage, or the things that they've passed down throughout their ceremonies. There's actually a number of tribal centers because we're technically where I live. I think I live really, really close to Creek Nation, and Creek Nation territory has its own. Every area has its own tribal center, which is in essence kind of like a community center designed specifically. I mean, it's with the tribe in mind, but I think that I'm pretty much sure that most of them are public access. And they have a lot of things about the history of the tribe, because they're non-tribe people, non-tribe members that live in the area. People would like to know, and so it was really, really interesting stuff. The Creek Nation one is really close to where we live. I think it's south in Muskogee is where that's at. Is the Creek Nation Tribal Center, but then there's more going. There's more going
any
west,
direction,
west of pretty much
any
west.
direction.
Well, from where we are, when you head east, the next major city is Joplin. So it's when you head east, after it's hours, but it's a couple hours, but you'll hit Joplin. That's the next big metropolitan going east. But you go west, lots of Oklahoma out there, and lots, especially the Cherokee. A lot of Cherokee history in this territory. So. I've met a number of them, just kind of especially when I was out in Ponca and I was out Oakland, the kind of rural areas of Oklahoma City. and you'll run into them. Very, very proud people. I have a profound level of respect for them and the shit they've put up with, throughout their history. But dang, man, they are really, really cool.
Yes, WebARB, there are still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think something along that line might be what I start focusing my next documentary on. But yeah, anyway, I gotta get the YouTube one finished.
Somebody says something. So Frank being Frank said, JL, you just referenced Supernatural. That is my favorite TV show of all time. Started watching season 1 when it started and just got hooked. I like Supernatural. I think a few times jumped the shark, but otherwise it was a good show. It was just good continuity. I enjoyed it. I loved that they brought characters back. They didn't replace the actors. As it stands right now, Jared Padalecki is currently starring on the new Walker reboot. So he is Walker, Texas Ranger.
What?
So, yeah, he's starring in the new Walker Texas Ranger reboot. Jensen Ackles has joined season 3 of The Boys as Soldier Boy. So he'll be showing up, and I've seen first look at his costume, and it looks badass. I'm looking forward to seeing him on there. But he and his wife are spearheading a Supernatural prequel called The Winchesters, which will be coming to the CW. So the end of Supernatural is not the end of the saga. So there will be a prequel series which looks at the history, like the granddad and how the family business became hunting. And so Jensen Ackles and his wife are spearheading that as executive producers, which is pretty cool.
I could never get into that show. Like Jeremy, the other plot hole co-host, he fucking loves that show.
It's a good show. It's easy to follow. It's got good moments.
I don't know. I tried. I sat down and watched a couple episodes and just thought, man, this is stupid.
Mark Pellegrino and Mark Shepard both make that show, like legit. Jared and Jensen are good, but it's really the villains that spice the whole thing up. The show always has excellent villains, and Mark Pellegrino playing Lucifer and Mark A. Shepard playing Crowley were always two of the standouts in that show. So Jimmy Walker taking out bad guys with dynamite. Marvel Girl says Dean's death was stupid. A lot of people did say that, but what showrunners wanted to show was that God was no longer protecting them. That they had plot armor, is what God had given them, which is why they were able to escape death so many times. It seemed like these guys are either like crazy, stupid, lucky, or someone's watched out for. Well, it was God making sure that they didn't die, or that they did die. It was according to what God wanted for his story. But as soon as God was gone, they no longer had the protection, so they were just normal people out there. And sure as shit, you go on a hunt, people get croaked. It happens all the time. That's what they were showcasing. That without that supernatural protection, they were just guys fighting monsters, and Dean got croaked in the silliest of ways, which is what happens.
So did they leave him dead, or did they bring him back?
He stayed dead. So basically they were out on a hunt, and they were fighting a bunch of vampires in this old barn where they were nesting up. And one of them grabbed Dean, and he was struggling with him. And the vampire swung Dean, and there was literally one of the pillars, one of the beams in the barn had a hunk of rebar sticking out of it. Just because the place was old and dilapidated and falling apart, and he just happened to catch him, right on that piece of rebar. That was it. And I mean,
was that the season finale?
That was the series. That was the series finale. Dean passes away. Dean passed away. Sam goes on to live a long life. Gets married, has a kid. The kid becomes a hunter. Sam passes away. Then they reunite in heaven. Heaven's been remade into this awesome fucking place, which is it's pretty much always your best moments. And it's pretty much, you're happy. People are happy. And that's pretty much it. You just kind of do what you want. And then that was it. It wasn't the send-off they wanted because COVID screwed it up. They wanted to bring back everybody who died. Every good guy that died in the series. They want to bring everyone back for the series finale.
30, that's what, 30, 20, how many seasons? 15?
15 seasons.
Fuck
and
that.
They wanted to be reunited with every person they lost along the way. Every friend that they lost, they were going to see again. But unfortunately, the COVID thing didn't let him do it. So we just got this really poignant moment between Bobby and Dean there at the end, and then Dean and Sam. So
Sam.
That would have been cool because they would have brought Jeffrey Dean Morgan back. They would have brought Mary. Was Mary Winchester? I can't remember the actress' name, plays his wife, but they would have brought their mom back. They would have brought Rufus and Joe and all the cats from the Roadhouse, and we would have seen all of it. That would have been cool. That would have been fun.
I guess, like I said, I don't. You're naming a lot of names. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. People in the chat know what I'm talking about. Frank says, Jail. You know your stuff. I was going to bring that up. I was going to say there was an episode of Supernatural where the boys went back to 1869 to kill a phoenix. Yes, Jared was Walker in that episode. This is very much so. Yes, there was they needed Phoenix Ash in order to kill a demon in the future. So Castiel, their angel buddy, uses his powers to send them back to 1869 to kill this phoenix, to shoot this phoenix. And the phoenix is an outlaw. And so Dean has the whole thing where he gets to do a draw because Dean's like a Wild West nut. And you would have loved this. One of the best moments, because everyone's got a vision of what the Wild West is like, of what he was like, right. It's not like that at all. So he goes back and the place is an absolute shithole because the West was a shithole.
Yeah.
And so he goes into the bar and the prostitutes are not savory by any stretch of the imagination. And he goes into the bar. He's like, I'll take a shot of your top shelf whiskey. And the bartender's just like this old guy. He's like, I ain't got but the one shelf. just give me what you got. And the bartender's like, you got it. Pours him a shot, hands to him, and he's like, here's to you, Sam.
Yeah.
It's like battery acid.
That's back before they had them regulations.
Exactly. that was it's like it's not what we thought at all.
No, that's shit. I would like to taste 1800s Wild West frontier whiskey just so I can say I have. But I don't want to.
We'll just say it'll warm you on a rainy night. That's for damn sure.
I just, I don't know. I just couldn't get it. It's just something about the show. It looked cheesy. It was CW, and
it had its moments, but there was good stuff there. There were some moments that were very well written, very poignant. When Kripke was the showrunner for the first 5 years, things were really strong. The show went on 10 years longer than Kripke intended. Kripke had written out 5 years, and that was it. But the show was so popular, it just CW was like renew. So 10 years later, and I thought everybody was good. There were good ones, especially when they went meta, like when the boys dimension hopped into a dimension where there was no magic, no supernatural. They literally jumped, and when they dimension hopped, they jumped into their actor personas. So they were not Dean and Sam, they were Jensen and Jared. But when they jumped into it, they're like, okay, we're Sam and Dean. It's like, but everybody thinks that they're just Jensen and Jared and that they're actors. And this is all bullshit. There's no magic. There's no nothing, no supernatural. There's, angels, demons, none of this shit exists. Nothing. They basically jumped into the real world, which is hilarious. And then that was a good one. The one where Dean dies like Groundhog Day over and over and over and over. All the ways they killed him was hilarious. Where Dean became afraid of everything. That was a funny one. So
Zachariah Hooper says, at the plot hole, I'm curious, and this is way off topic, but where did you get the finger guns, baby? It was just a silly thing that I was doing, because I started my channel proper first, right as COVID was going, right? And you were no longer allowed to do handshakes and fist bumps and all that shit. So I started thinking, man, fucking hell, I guess finger guns are gonna make a comeback. It just, boom, all right, fuck it, let's just make finger guns a comeback. People make fun of people who do finger guns. I said, fuck that shit. Let's make it a little less not cool. So that's how we got finger guns. Like I said, I did it once just as a like whatever, because I didn't. What do I do? I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands?
Kind of thing.
But then you just put them down. They keep creeping up.
You could leave them down at your side.
I don't.
Yeah, so that's how that came about. I said, "Oh, cool, man."
A lot of Supernatural fans in the chat. It's a good show.
It was really popular. The only reason why it lasted 15 seasons because it's a hugely popular show.
Mhm.
Like I said, I don't hate it. I just never could get into it. It just wasn't for me.
The only thing I never dug about it was they fridged a lot of the a lot of the girls that were on it because Supernatural had a massive young female fan base. All the girlies love Sam and Dean. So whenever there was a girl that was presenting too much of a kind of when she was encroaching on Sam and Dean, they would always end up fridging her. So you had Joe and her mom, who ran the Roadhouse, but they got free. She got fridged because she was getting too close to Dean. The angel that Dean sleeps with, she got fridged because she was getting too close to Dean. There were two. Lauren Conrad, who is Maggie on The Walking Dead, she was on the show. Who played Laura Cohen? Sorry, Lauren Cohen, who's on The Walking Dead, was on the show, and she played a British, basically a British kind of like treasure hunter, or she was a thief, and then she stole like cursed artifacts and powerful shit, and sold them on the black market, and that was how she made her living. And she was on the show and was excellent. Like she was really good because she
should have been.
In essence, because the heroes were the foil. Every time she showed up, they were her foil, and she would always get one over on them because she was just brilliant like that. And
she was like, "What's his name?" Who is Moriarty?
Yes, and she got fridged because people were because the girls were getting jealous. They didn't like her. They didn't like her taking advantage of the guys. All the girls who the girls who showed up, there was one actress who played Meg. I have so much respect for, and I want to remember her name because she is boss. Supernatural Meg.
Webarb, take care. Get some rest.
Let's see. She was played by Rachel Miner. Yes, Rachel Miner. So Rachel Miner was funny because Jensen Ackles got his start in daytime soap operas, and so did she. But Rachel Miner played Meg. Was the third incarnation of Meg. And
wait. So this is soap operas? What?
No. They both got their start in acting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there were inside jokes about Jensen being on what was it, Days of Our Lives. So there were jokes made that he started in soap operas. So
he was on Days of Our Lives.
That
was a show. My mother used to watch that show. My mother and I used to watch the show together when I was a kid. Way back when we only had two channels on TV and PBS.
But she played. She played Meg Masters on Supernatural from 2005 to 2020. And her last few seasons, she only made brief appearances, because Rachel I believe she was diagnosed with MS, and still managed to to focus and bring it. And she even when which she obviously, because I think on her last appearance, she only sat in a chair and just talked to the guy. She didn't do anything. There was no major blocking. She just sat there and delivered lines, and she was still a badass. So she was amazing, but she was one of the best ones on there. And fortunately, she never got fridged, which was great. So I always loved that because she was a badass. But the show has so much history. I recommend it. But if you get a chance, it's all on Netflix.
I can't fucking spend. Look, okay, the whole thing that got us on this subject was me talking about how I watch movies when I'm doing paperwork in the back, and I started watching it live. You know how long it took me to watch an hour and a half film?
Because you keep having to pause it and shit.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I don't get this right. I could either spend time with you guys on the interwebs, or I could watch a movie. Obviously, I'm going to spend time with you guys in the interwebs. I mean, come on, this is the only time. No, it's just I don't make the time for film watching like I used to.
We know.
Yeah, that's not well, I have watched
I'm
the
so fucking with
majority of the
you.
movies for the weekend horror. Okay,
I'm fucking with you.
there are some that I haven't done it. There's some I haven't done. Prime says I have opinions on movies and TV too. Yes, Prime. Your Bible Man reviews are top notch.
Those are amazing, and you need to keep doing them.
Yes.
Let's see. Frank Pink versus JL. The early Meg, later Meg, dark haired Meg. She was the one. So.
I'm trying to remember the last. Yeah. So I guess the last television show that I watched would have been. The Walking Dead, I think, and I stopped watching that. I didn't stop watching it. I just don't have television to watch it, so I have to wait till it shows up on Netflix. But I watched that. I think like season 6. Then after that, we gave up television. I mean, I've seen all the seasons since then. It just takes me for fucking ever. Like whenever they show up on Netflix, they're a season behind on Netflix. And it takes me the entirety of the time that it releases from Netflix to the time that the next season comes out to watch the whole, because I just, there are other things I want to watch, or I want to, working on YouTube stuff or working at work, or, the hair puppies.
Maybe.
Puppy dogs.
Okay, it's Jingles.
Okay.
Let's say someone's here. NANA, what did I said? The plot hole. Because of JL, I've been watching a lot more movies. I'm done. Succeeded. There you go.
Yeah. I seriously used to watch movies all the time. I would, even when I had television, I would watch movies. And so I didn't really get into TV a whole lot. There are a few shows. The Wilfred was one show that I watched every chance.
Wilfred was amazing.
I fucking love that show. It's one of the
both
best
of
shows.
Them. Australian and the American version. Both great.
Yeah. Well, because Jason Gann makes that character. Yep. If it went, I mean, he and Elijah Wood, though, I do like their dynamic more than the Australian version.
Oh, yeah.
Simply because I think Elijah Wood's just a better actor. Nothing against the other guy. It's just their chemistry is better. And then what's her name? Fiona. Gosh, his neighbor.
Yeah, the hot chick.
Yeah. And then even what's his name? Chris Klein was fucking.
Oh, hilarious. Chris Klein was hilarious. He was
hilarious in that. His role.
It was reminiscent of Just Friends, because he was knocked out, drag out funny in Just Friends. Let me see. Fred Knott said, JL, excited for the new Halloween? A resounding yes. A resounding yes.
I'll watch it when it comes on free TV.
It'll be released digital.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch it when it comes out.
And I still can't find anything scarier than Grease.
You're the one that I want.
There's a theory that she's dead.
Who?
That Olivia Newton-John's character, Sally.
Oh, you're talking about the film theory.
Yeah, the film theory. Was her name Sally?
I think
it's been so long since I've seen Grease.
I believe it was Sally.
I can't remember. But it's and I think it's a film theory that she's actually dead, and that the whole movie is her reconciling her death, and that's why Sandy. That was it. And then that's why when they're in the car and she's driving off, she's going up into the sky.
It's all a dream.
Yeah. Well, no, she was dead. She was a ghost, and the whole movie is her reconciling her life.
I was reading Fred Knott's.
Fred Knott said it's all a dream.
It's all a dream, yeah.
It could be that as well. Like the whole movie could have been a dream. I heard it was because she died, drowned in the beginning because she drowned, and then she was imagining the whole thing like if she had survived, and then she reconciles her death at the end like that, and then she's happy and she's able to move on, which is why when they're in the car they drive off into the sky.
I guess that's why everybody's running around singing and dancing all the time, because that shit does not happen in the real world.
Exactly.
Any American Horror Story fans? I never got into that one. I hear that what was it, the one that was based in the 80s was really good. Was
1984? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was really good. But
Freak Show was my favorite.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Freak Show was amazing. I mean, Jessica Lange was transcendent in that season. Absolutely stunning as Elsa. and it was in my personal opinion, is the best of the entire series, of the entire franchise. Freak Show was the absolute best.
Skydiver Tanner says, and you've never been in my house, Johnny. That's true. I've never been to your house. But I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen in the real world. People don't just stop, serving your fucking fries and milkshake while singing a song. Well, some of them might, but it's not going to be the entire goddamn group. That's all I'm saying. You're not going to get a bunch of fucking hard. That would be the shit, though, right? Get a bunch of hardcore fucking gang members, right? Like from streets of East LA. But in order to have a fight, they have to do it exactly. It has to be musical style, singing, song, dance. Everything's choreographed. You got to be in key and pitch, and then they can have the fight. If they can't do those things, no more fighting.
That'd be funny.
Marvel Girl says, "Nope, this may not be the place to say this, but I don't do scary."
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, we'll bring Marvel Girl, West Side Story. That is exactly what we were referencing there. But I think it would be great if that would actually happen. You know what I mean? Like if I turn on the news and there was the gang shootout and they show the whole thing and they're all singing and dancing and shit.
Tony Regime, the thing scarier than Grace is the song video that Travolta and Newton-John song. I think you might like it. So much cringe. Yeah, it's pretty cringy.
What was that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta where they're doing the jazzercise shit? You know what I mean? They're the workout scene where his like balls are hanging out of his fucking shorts. You know what I'm talking about? They're doing all these weird thrusts and shit. It's like an extra. It's like a class,
It's the tip of my tongue, literally right there.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
That's an old one.
It is an old one. It's from the from the 70s.
But I remember what she looked like in the I remember what her getup was in that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
name of this film. Yeah. You want to talk about fucking cringe?
A female aerobics instructor meets a male reporter doing a story on health clubs, but it isn't love at first sight. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, no. Like now I know why I don't remember the name of the movie. Jesus. Let's see here. My favorite Jamie Lee Curtis role is in Trading Places. I know why you say that.
Oh, there she is. There she is. That pink uni. Oh yeah.
Travolta's balls on a tip of JL's tongue. Ew.
That's disgusting. That's gross. He has old man balls.
He does. He's like in his 70s. So I've been on a new documentary kick ever since.
Wow. I'm sorry to interrupt. Mary Lou Hanner looked amazing.
A lot of those ladies looked amazing way back in the day. Now they not so much.
Man, Mary Lou Hanner was
and I can say that because I've never looked amazing. So there you go. I'm not judging. I'm just observing or something. Anyway, so I've been on this documentary kick. I watched that Athlete A, which is what we started talking about. Did you see that Athlete A when it came out? I think it was a year ago on Netflix about Maggie Nichols and the Lassar gymnastics pedophile.
I think I did.
The Larry Nassar, so the doctor, yeah. And then there's another one talking about I started to watch the Leah Remini.
The Scientology
one.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I'm curious. Why are we not like breaking John Travolta's and Tom Hanks's balls on this? Because everybody wants to focus on.
Wait. Tom Cruise, not Tom Hanks.
I'm sorry, Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. I was like, no, not Tom. Not the good Tom.
Not the good Tom, yeah.
Not the Tom we love.
Not the Tom that gave us Forrest Gump. So why do they get a pass?
Because, Tom has star power. Tom still, makes movies that make hundreds of millions of dollars. So as long as Tom is popular, and can has the draw to make a Mission Impossible that will make $250 million in the opening weekend or whatever, Tom's going to be able to do whatever the fuck he wants, which is pretty much why Scientology lets him do whatever the fuck he wants. John, I think, is slipping because after Kelly, sadly, when his wife Kelly passed away from breast cancer, which was, I know that just broke his heart. They've been together forever.
Yeah.
And I just only remember going back and watching Christine just to see her in it when she was so young. But I think one of the last projects he did was that Gotti biopic, which was absolutely terrible. Yeah. And he fought hard to make that movie. Like that was going to be like his like big thing. Like, the Gotti biopic. This is a story that must be told. And it was just terrible. I think Scientology probably views John as that he's slipping, that he's a name, and it's just like he's just one of those names. So there'll just be somebody. He'll be somebody that they draft off of as long as they can, and maybe throw him a bone, let him make Battlefield Earth 2. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Talk about another movie he fought for that was just utter garbage.
Well, Will Smith did the same shit with After Earth.
That's true. That's true. I think After Earth was much better though.
Will Smith is a fucking Scientologist. That breaks my heart.
Why? That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why these guys are getting passes when all this stuff about Scientology comes out and how just horrible these people are. And you get, Tom Cruise, who's a huge, Scientology, woo, let's everybody be a Scientologist, Scientology, woo.
It's entirely possible that a lot of people don't actually believe it, but they, like any other club, they pay their dues. They go through the kind of like the ritual. Yeah. And Scientology, unfortunately, is also very, very powerful and could probably secure these people films and film projects by wielding influence in particular areas. So if a movie's coming up and every A-list actor is wanting a piece of it, then if something that Tom hasn't taken himself. But if like 6 or 7 real A-listers are after a role, Scientology can help secure one of their people gets it by greasing the right wheels or doing whatever. So it may be a way to guarantee that you'll always be employed as long as you're paying however much you need to pay Scientology, you're paying the church, and and as long as they can draft off you, as long as you're marketable, because they'll also help with that. They'll help with their marketing. They'll put their face out there, consistently. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's just a beneficial relationship for some.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I don't understand why, because we when we see Leah Remini talk about I forget the two names of the people.
Dang it. I'm getting called. I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
1001, 1002. Shit. I don't know. So help me out, Chad. I don't understand why we're giving these guys a pass, because shouldn't they, because they have such an influence, and they have to notice, they have to hear these stories. You would think that Tom Cruise is he that brainwashed into thinking that L. Ron Hubbard is a bee's knees or the tits or whatever, that he's willing to overlook the many, many allegations of just abuse and shitty behavior, harassment.
I do apologize, and I don't mean to interrupt. And my wife was just telling me we haven't unpacked the truck yet from getting up here. We were taking a break because we've been in the damn car for forever. But there's lightning on the horizon, and it looks like a storm is rolling in. So she needs my help unpacking the truck and getting it all into the garage. So I got to go handle that.
Do your thing.
So I've got to run, guys.
Your first Oklahoma tornado.
Yeah. Love y'all. Y'all have an amazing night. Hang out with Johnny. You couldn't ask for a better live audience out there. Hope to see you guys over my channel. Check it out, or at Week in Horror on Wednesday. So
Wednesday's gonna be fun. Check out JL Warren. JL Warren on YouTube. The guy's awesome. His takedown of Darth Dawkins is great. His takedown of the Muslim skeptic, of Kyle Butts. Lots of awesome material. Go check it out.
I am a vicious.
You're a vicious, slandering, stupid guy.
Slanderer, defamer. I'm like fucking the Hittite king or some shit over here.
You're just horrible. How dare you say these mean things about Darth Dawkins.
Right. All right. Glober Mom, Keith Newton, Theo Fungi, everybody. Love you guys. Be safe. Be excellent to each other. And I'll catch you next time.
Cheers.
All right. See you, Johnny.
All right. So yeah, some people say it's his ego, or some people say maybe they blackmailed him. Is it though? Is all of them they blackmailing all of them? I don't know. I think it's weird. Yeah, Rob Parks, jail is a vicious, vicious teddy bear. This is true. We actually hung out in real life, and he's a really good dude. JL, I like JL. He's a real stand-up guy. Don't tell him I said so. Marvel Girl, what decision are you making that we're respecting? You don't watch Tom Cruise movies? I don't either, because I don't like Tom Cruise. It takes it's very, very rare. There are very few Tom Cruise movies that I like, and it's generally in spite of Tom Cruise. Like I like Rain Man, not because of Tom Cruise, because of Dustin Hoffman. Rob Parks says your secret is safe with us. Thank you very much. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan. I like Top Gun. I watched it when I was a kid. Thought it was cool. And I got older and watched it again. I was like, it's okay. It's an okay movie. You know, it's not like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world. No, it's not that good. Edge. I never watched Edge of Tomorrow. That's that one with Emily Blunt, right? A lot of people like this character in Tropic Thunder, and he was pretty funny. I will give him that. He was funny in that one. No, just go away, Streamlabs. I need to turn Streamlabs off. Or at least bump it down a little bit. I didn't particularly care for the Mission Impossible movies either. The first one I watched in theaters and thought it was okay. But again, it was in spite of Tom Cruise. And then now there's like 17 of them or some crazy thing. Excuse me. Mike says, I like the movies with Tom Cruise, but I don't like him. I just don't like his performances. I respect the fact that he does his own stunts, but I don't know, just something about him I just don't like. Maybe it's that face. Yeah, legend because of Tim Curry, not Tom Cruise. Exactly. There's a lot of things that, in spite of, like A Few Good Men, that was Jack Nicholson all the way. Even though he was not as prominently featured in that film, Jack Nicholson was better. I thought Kevin Pollak was better. The game Mission Impossible is what people loved. I never played it. I heard it was a fun one though. Interview with a Vampire. They did 2, I think, 2 or 3. Again, I didn't like Tom Cruise in it. I liked Interview with a Vampire because of Brad Pitt and because of Kristen Dunst when she was a little girl. She was a much better actor than she is now. But, you know, you like the skydiving scene in Mission Impossible? Wonder why. Let's see here. Yeah, that was there's one Mission Impossible movie I like to watch just see where he broke his ankle. Yeah. Doing his own stunt. I forget which one that was. It was a roof stunt. He jumped from rooftop to rooftop and landed wrong and twisted and snapped. And he got up and ran off though. Did it one take. That's the take they took. But yeah, he snapped that shit. Oh. I'm not a huge Anne Rice. I'm not a huge vampire fan. I'm not. That's just not. I'm not. Vampires is not my thing. Angie says, and I'm back. Well, it's good to see you. Good to have you back. You're back just in time for me to wrap this sucker up, put a bow on it, and call it a night. Let's see. They did Interview with a Vampire, and then they did which one? They did another one. They had. Oh man, what was the other one they did? It's in the late. Excuse me. What the hell? What was I can't remember though. I can't remember what the hell was it? Was it Lestat? Did they do Lestat? So Keanu Reeves didn't do it for you in Interview with a Vampire. Keanu Reeves wasn't in Interview with a Vampire. What are you doing? Yeah, those two. Queen of the Damned and the Vampire. So the Queen of the Damned was just it was absolute garbage. It was. from what I understand, Keanu Reeves is an amazing person. Like he'll stop and what he's doing, take pictures, sign autographs, hang out with you, have a conversation with you, treat you like a person. But I just can't do his acting. Can't do it. Rotomanger says Nosferatu, I think the best depiction of vampires. That's a good one. I like Nosferatu. Yep, Antonio Banderas was in there. Yes, he was. Yep. Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? Who are think? What are we talking about, Angie? Hell no! What the fuck? And whoever thinks that is sick. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Tom Cruise breaking his ankle? Oh, I think. Except for Blade 3. But yeah. Blade was Marvel property. Yes, it was. You like the Lycan movies better? Yeah. That's my problem with Keanu Reeves is that he's the same in every movie, and he did it best in Bill and Ted. And again, like I said, I don't hate the guy. I just don't think he's particularly great of an actor. He has his no facial features. When he's angry, he looks just like he does when he's sad or when he's happy. He's done a couple of movies where it worked. Like that's the reason why he worked so well in as Neo. That because he was supposed to be, this kind of type B personality, nerdy, I guess nerdy, but real expressionless. But outside of that, there are other films like, oh man, he was one of the worst casting choices in Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was just this blue inferno. Come the fuck on, dude. Drop the bullshit accent. Just talk like Ted. We'll be good. And then putting him next to Winona Ryder. Just bad choices. I don't think he's a great actor, just a good person. His effect is always off. Yeah. Yep. I agree. But anyway, yeah, it's there are some good ones out there. Vampires has never been really my thing. Like I said, I liked Interview with a Vampire because of the story, and I liked Bram Stoker's Dracula because of the story. I thought Gary Oldman was amazing. Yeah, so Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins were the ones who saved that movie from the other two. I heard that, and N.O. Wesley is not Blade and is very unhappy. What happened? What did I miss? They're going to make another one? Wow. More Blade movies. You're not going to put Wesley Snipes as Blade? Why not? I mean, John Wick may be a badass, but I don't dislike Keanu Reeves. I'm not a fan of his acting. And just like I'm not a fan of people, I get shit for this all the time, but Nicolas Cage, I can't stand Nicolas Cage's acting. I just can't stand it. Well, you don't understand German expressionism. I don't have to understand it to know that I don't like it. Nobody would top Snipes. Yeah, I wouldn't do Blade without Wesley Snipes. I just wouldn't do it. He's still alive. He's still fucking in great shape. He's old, but I think he can still do it. If fucking Tom Cruise can jump off from airplanes and they'll still hire him to do that shit. The guy from Green Book. What am I missing? Can't pronounce or spell his name. I'm not sure what Green Book we're talking about. What did I miss? Yeah, I'm with you. I can't see Blade as anybody else either. When you think of that character, that's who I think of. The one I am looking forward to, Mahershala Ali. That's who's going to be the new Blade? Mahershala Ali? Really? That's an interesting choice. I think he's a fantastic actor. Yeah. Is so funny. The Blade films, one of the things I liked about the Expendables series is that they were very tongue-in-cheek with a lot of things. I've heard he's very difficult to work with, But one of the things that I thought was funny is in the Expendables, where I think it was Expendables 3, where they're getting Wesley Snipes, breaking him out of the prison thing, and they got him out and whatever. They asked him, what'd you do? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. They asked him, hey, what was what was the thing? What did you do to go to prison? And he said, tax fraud. I thought that shit was hilarious because that's why he went to prison. I agree. Demolition Man never needs to be. There are certain movies you just don't remake, and that's one of them. Don't do it. Limey Place here. Hey, what's going on, buddy? White men can't jump. That's racist. To Wong Fu. That was a good one as well. But that, you had Patrick Stewart. Imagine Captain fucking Picard in that movie. You had Swayze. You had John Leguizamo, I think, stole the show in that movie. I think John Leguizamo was on point. No, not that. Yeah, To Wong Fu. Tiny Eye. To Wong Fu. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, that was like I said. I thought Leguizamo stole the show. I thought he was great. Huge fan of John Leguizamo. I love his stand-up. I didn't mind the sequel. I didn't mind Predator 2. I thought Predator 2 was pretty cool. I thought it was, it's kind of difficult to make a sequel to that film because you can't really make a sequel to Predator and put it in the jungle because then this is just, whatever. So I like the fact that they took it and they expanded his area of hunting. If they ever replace a Punisher with anyone but John Bernthal, I will riot. I thought that John Bernthal did an amazing job. I liked the series. I wish I would not have canceled it. But did. Damn Netflix. I was hoping Disney was going to pick it up. And John Bernthal was hoping Disney was going to pick it up because he played the character well. One thing I didn't like about the Punisher, the John Bernthal Punisher, was they tried to make him too human. It's okay that he's a badass who doesn't really bleed a whole lot. I liked the Thomas Jane film. I liked that film. And there was a fan film they did with Thomas Jane. It was a short. I thought it was done really well. Predator 2 went into more depth. You almost felt pity for the Predator when Glover was hunting him. I don't know if I felt pity for him so much. I'd like the adversarial thing. I like the back and forth. The hunter becomes the hunted. I thought that was a great twist to it. A lot of people didn't like the story. A lot of people didn't like what was going on. They didn't like the fact that it was set in Los Angeles. I thought it was great. I thought it was a perfect place to have it. Warzone is my favorite Punisher movie. That was with what's his name? I can't remember his name. I didn't particularly care for the one who replaced Thomas Jane. I can't remember his name. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But I thought Bernthal, did a great job. Anyway, it's time. Demolition Man is one of my dad's favorite movies because 1970s Olds 442. Yes. I would love to have a 442, 7442. Anyway, it's time for me to wrap this sucker up. I'm going to get on down the rabbit hole of trying to sleep. I got a little bit of cleaning up and whatnot to do. I appreciate everybody, all the super chats, all the supports, all the likes and thumbs, and all the things that you guys do to show that you appreciate me. It makes me feel good. I'm not going to lie. It makes me feel great. You guys are awesome. One of the best audiences I've got. Best audiences out there. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But yeah. Anyway, I'm Johnny O. It's time for me to get on out of here. And I had a blast. So we'll see you guys maybe next time. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we all know what's about to happen. So make sure you show me in the side chat all your finger guns, baby.